Okay, thanks for joining us. We're just continuing on with our little painting here. Well, we're just about to put some trunks in. We've got our broken ground there, just a little bit of colour, that's all we're after. Now we can put some tree trunks amongst it. Like some of these can be big, small, doesn't matter, mix it up. And we need to get those right up. These are in the foreground. Those ones back there are way back in the distance. So that's all we're concerned about now, is creating that depth effect. And what we're going to do is put one of them right up high, like a nice big tall gum over there. We can even put one over here if we wish. So they're not all the same height. A little bit of shadow there, so we've got our lights coming from right across to the left, so we can even put a bit of that shadow in there as well. Okay. Looking okay. We need to put some lights on there, of course, because we've got darks against darks, and that's not what we want. So we need them to stand out a little bit, so we can just put a little bit of light on them, really like that Volution Violet on the side of the trunk. Now that's looking really good. Look how they stand out there. Looking really good. Bit of that light. Don't get them uniform. I know I keep saying it, but it's so important. Nothing looks worse than like three little mountains like that, or three tree trunks exactly the same distance apart. Even if they are like that in nature, change it. Make it look really inviting. Like you just want to disappear in there. Let's keep going with this. See how we're going here. Look at this. It's coming along quite nice, actually. Love these colours. Look at this. Looking really nice. Needs a little bit of light up there as well, just to mix it up. A few branches off. Okay, now we can put a little bit of light on the top of those, and we're going to do that with this yellow ochre that we got. Haven't even cleaned the brush. Actually, might try that smaller brush that we were using earlier, and that's going to give us the effect that we're after, I think. So we've got the yellow ochre up the top there on those background trees. That needs just a little bit of patting down there. And now the ones in the foreground, don't like that. It's not working. We need to get this one in here. So get those lights on top of the trees. Need some darks up there for that one, so the light will stand out against it. So we got the effect of the light shimmering across the bushland in the background. And as we go further down into the shade, we can have a little bit of a shade colour, a little bit of that orange in there somewhere just to break it up. Okay. And just where we were before, as we were saying, we need a little bit of a dark up there for that tree that's going right up high, and then we can go straight into that and put some lights on it, put some highlights on there. There we go. Looking good. So it's broken up the background. You've still got the effect that we're after. Now we're going to bring out something I don't know if you've seen on the show before, and that's our big flat knife. If I can find it. Seems to have disappeared. No, here it is. Big flat round knife. There she is. Now you can buy those like that, but what I'm going to do is just lay some paint on here and create the effect of some rocks. So how I'm going to do that is with these colours. Well, I said earlier, when we mix these colours up, or we're going around the palette, I'll tell you why we mix that colour. The Volution Violet with the black, because this is the colour of our rocks. So we're going to go just maybe a little hint, actually, a little bit more of that colour in there. A little bit of broken ground. And now we're going to go over that with our Volution Violet and the black that we've got in there as well, and create this effect that we're after. And we're going to put one layer over the top of another. So we're going to use the Volution Violet with the white in it. I'm going to create the effect of some rocks there. Even spread out a little bit of white and put a little bit of white on there as well. We know our light's coming from this direction, so we've just created ourselves a nice little rock there. Just, you can keep playing with it, pat it down just to give it that rock effect. Get a little bit of white on that thing. You can actually pat it down like that. A little bit too stark there now. Now we're going to bring one over the top of it. And this is our main rock, and it's going to be massive. So we'll get a bit of our Volution Violet in there as well as a base. And then we're going to come over the top of it with some lights. So we'll use this colour here as well, back on the shade side of the rock. way back in there, get it on, plaster that on, lay it on nice and, well, not so thick because we're going to put colour over the top of it, but you just cover that whole area, that's the main concern. And pick up a bit of this colour now, and we can pick up that light and cut it in. We can even go over that with a knife, or with a brush later if we like, and create that rock effect that we're after. Beautiful colour, look at this. Pick up a little bit of that blue even that we've got up. Well, we haven't got any blue, but blue is a beautiful complementary colour for this, so we'll put a bit of that in the shade side of the rock as well. There we go. Pat it down here and there, put a little bit of that white on there, just like we got a bit of light hitting some moss or something on the rock. Pat it down so we don't want it too dominant. Okay, starting to look okay. And we're going to put in a bit of, little bit of this as well, because we've got, want to break it up from the rocks in front, so we don't want too much of one thing, whether it's rocks, bush or whatever. Break it up a little bit. Okay, so we've got a bit of that, little bit of foliage just there nesting amongst the rocks there. If you're concerned about the rock not standing out enough, just go over it with your liner and just create that effect like so. There it is, put a few lines in it. You can even put a few dark lines in there if you wish. Liners are great for this. Great little exercise on rocks though, and we're just going to continue on with that, and we're going to put in a couple of smaller ones here, just amongst the big ones, just to break things up. You don't want everything too much the same. So, same thing again, that one's in the shade, just a little bit behind there. A little bit of colour in there as well. Doesn't hurt, just that little pat of colour. Look at it, it's beautiful. Makes it look like a rock. We've lost a little bit of our dark. Look, put it back in. It's so easy. Don't panic and don't say, I'm not going to finish it or throw it in the corner. If you make a mistake or you're not happy with it, stick at it, fix it up. It'll work. If you stick at it long enough, you should be able to fix it. So we're going to go into another rock here now. We're going to put one in front of it. We're going to use a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of orange, just once again to break these colours up. So that one can be a little bit of light on the top of it. And we're going to go straight into the yellow, the Evolution Violet, I'm sorry. We're going to pick up that as well. So a bit of the light in it as well. Okay, that's looking okay. Need just a little bit of that yellow on there. Just about to come up for another break. And we're going to come in and finish this off. It's starting to look okay. A little bit of tree, a few branches in the trees to come in there. Going to come back very shortly and continue on, so we'll see you then.